Hey guys, Just of the World here, and today, yet again, we are talking about another Pred. The man you see on your screen right now is Kevin Tomlinson. Tomlinson? Yeah, but we're going to call him Kevin for this video. Kevin, who was 37 at the time, communicated with what he thought to be a 15 and 14-year-old pair of girls, and he tried to meet outside a subway restaurant with the supposed 15-year-old, only to find out it was a pair of decoy accounts run by Dark Justice, who we've covered numerous times on this channel, and Guardians of the North, who I believe I might have made a video on before, but I'm not too sure. I obviously make a lot of these. I'll be honest, the Sting isn't really anything special. There's not really anything noticeable to kind of share with you guys. I will show bits and show them at the end of the Sting getting arrested. Some bits will obviously have to be cut out and censored for obvious reasons. I've already explained this in previous videos. I just don't want YouTube coming after my channel again like it did before. But we'll show it now and then we'll talk about further details afterwards.
Right. Now you knew this age, yes? From the outset, yes? Right. So why do you think it's acceptable to come and meet this after what you've been saying?
No, there was nothing.
So why are you here then?
I'm going to meet my friend.
So you're coming to meet your friend? Who's your friend?
Lives up Chester Road.
What's his name?
I'm not saying.
You're not saying his name, but he lives up Chester Road. So you're going to see your friend, yeah? What time is it, sir? Do you know?
I'll go watch on 12 o'clock.
Right. You're going to see your friend at 12 o'clock at night? Sure, sir. Yes. So you're not walking to the subway up the road on the messages that you've been conversing with her 15. You've also been talking to a number of other people here who've all told you that they're...
Yeah, but we haven't had planned.
You have? Yeah. Yeah. So it's all there in black and white. Every one of us here have done this for a very long time. Yeah? Yeah. And we've got a lot of people, such as yourself, yeah, who all say, oh no, it wasn't me, I wasn't talking to anyone, nothing like that. But then when the phone gets handed to the police and it gets checked, sir, which it will, they soon drop a bollock. And that's exactly what's going to happen with you. Because they're going to check your phone, they're going to see all the chat logs from you and all the other children that you've been speaking to. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's real who you've been speaking to. How would we have known that you were going to be walking along this street in Sunderland? Because all we knew was you lived in Sunderland. That's what you've said to these people on there, yeah? So how would we know that exactly this time you're going to be walking along this street to go up to that way?
I don't know.
So you think we're just sort of magicians who ignore these things?
Like I was saying before, he completely denies it throughout the Sting, even though at the beginning he slightly nodded his head, so again, who knows what he was actually thinking. He seemed unbothered by it, but I'm assuming he was just nervous, but again, there really isn't much to show. But obviously, to go through the conversation with the dude, I can't go into great detail about what was said because obviously, YouTube's guidelines are very much clear. I can't really go into detail, but the conversation, obviously, between him and the decoy was horrible. He alluded to doing something with them, and that's all that needs to be said. He wanted to do stuff, and he even arranged to meet them there, but luckily it wasn't a real person that age. He was obviously arrested as seen at the end of that Sting, and I'm sure you guys are pretty much wondering, what was he sentenced to? That's what we're here for. Well, before we get to the juicy bits, he has previous convictions, which are pretty damning. Now, this is obviously coming from the website, so I'm going to read it from here, but Kevin had no previous convictions for offending, but was the subject of an SHPO order, or a sexual harm prevention order, imposed after he was cautioned by police in 2013. The caution was for an indecent air of a girl aged between, pretty hard here, 3 and 6, which happened in the 1990s when Kevin was a teenager, the court heard. But what was he actually sentenced to? Well, he pled guilty, I believe, and was sentenced to a 9-month suspended sentence. He must adhere to a programme requirements, so basically like therapy for a certain amount of time, but there's nothing telling me how long that was for, so again, sorry about that. A 10-year SHPO order and 10 years on the offenders register. The court heard probation officials had assessed Kevin as and imposed a medium risk harm to people that age, particularly when under the influence of alcohol, even though in the sting he didn't really come off as drunk. But the defence attorney or the defence team for Kevin, claimed that he was under the use of alcohol, and as if that's any kind of excuse. It's not like he just met her and it happened, I guess, even though that won't make it better, by the way. I'm not saying it would, but just different ways. So, but apparently throughout the entire conversation, 2.5-hour conversation, he was drunk, and even though he showed up there, he was still drunk. But I'll be honest, I call BS. But basically, he didn't serve any jail time, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, agree with that. What a joke of a sentence. And what is it lately with these stings where I cover them, they're pretty professionally well done, and they end up not getting sentenced to a decent length of time? Ridiculous. Anyway, that's been Joseph the World. That's all the information I have left to share on the Sunderland nonce. And if you guys have any suggestions, again, please leave a link. I have been wanting to make one video in particular, but I've been a bit iffy about making it. But we'll see what happens with that. Not saying I will make it, but again, it's just that subject is the hardest subject I'll ever have to talk about. Let's just say that. Anyway, that's been Just the World. Make sure to like and subscribe if you can. Share the video. I always appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys in a bit. Peace. Did the wrong hand. Peace.